went to see Kiss, and they had the grease paint on the whole thing, and the audience had that. I was like, we're on to something. I said, this is absolutely going to make sense. We just have to figure it out. So what we did is we went after fashion designers, and we pretended to be from France. So we knew that in France, you know, everybody knew who, you know, Pierre Cardin was, and Givenchy, and all that sort of thing. So we were like, that was our shtick, that was our thing. So we got high fashion designers to do our outfits and come out in this stuff. We used to call them monkey suits, but because we used to dress up, and to us we were like trained monkeys. But it worked, and the music was sophisticated, so we called it sophisto-funk. We were Americans pretending to be from France, dressed up in designer clothes. And it was awesome. It worked so perfectly well because it all converged with the epoch of what we call the buppy, the black urban professional. So in America, black people were starting to get jobs on Wall Street. They were dressing up, and it was just perfect timing.
When you're writing songs and stuff, I mean, how does it begin? Is it just like an idea, or like is it a melody? How does it start? Do you have like a concept in your head before you start?
See, my problem is, maybe it's my blessing, maybe it's my curse, but music never stops playing in my head. It's always playing, talking to you. As soon as, I don't want to get too off track, but as soon as they said your name and you said Gemma, then I thought of all of the Gemma.
Wow, just, really?
Yeah. I can't help it. I'm always composing continuously, so there's two conversations going on. I'm frontally here with you, but trust me.
Really?
In my head is music playing. So
it's so easy for you, so natural, like.
Well, natural is better than the word easy, because I make it difficult on myself, because it does come quickly, and because it comes, because it's always there, I feel compelled to make it better.
Yeah, the high standard.
That's my problem. So I always make things too damn complicated, so then I have to deconstruct them. And that's why everything that we do always has deep hidden meaning, because every song I've ever written is non-fiction. Everything is real life. There's only been a couple of songs in my whole career. I've written hundreds of songs at this point. There have only been maybe a handful, you could probably count them on one hand, that were just completely made up. Everything else, like I said, like I meet you, so you may not know the song is about you.
Yeah.
But it is all real life, and that's why everything has deep hidden meaning, because I need to know, if I'm writing a song that I'm calling Alicia, but it was based on Gemma, it has to have all of these things in my head that really relate to Gemma, even though it's called Alicia, or else I can't write the song right, because it's not about Alicia, it's really about Gemma. I just call it Alicia. So I need to, everything that I consider a fact would be stored away here, and I always refer back to that fact. And if I went off track, I'd say, whoops, it's not that song anymore, it's something else. It can no longer be the song about Gemma, because we've now violated the deep hidden meaning. Like, she didn't have that. We're making that up. That doesn't make sense.
It's all fact.
Every song I do is nonfiction. Everything I do makes sense to me.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to make sense to you. Like, your reality will be something totally different, but my reality has to be based on a story that's an actual real event. Because if I can't portray that, if I can't convey that message to the listener,
it doesn't work.
Right, so that means that I have to really know it myself in order
really feel it,
be able to explain it.
Absolutely. So, have you got any advice for new people who want to try and make it in the business? Obviously, the business has changed so much from when you started out. I mean, is there any particular like lessons that you've learned along the way that you'd really like to kind of share with people who are, you know, talented and kind of want to give it a go but might be unsure about how to do it?
My advice is just the advice that I got when I was starting out, was you absolutely must have discipline. And to a musician, there's only one definition of discipline you need to know, and that's the ability to delay gratification. That means that you practice what you do at home so one day you could become Lady Gaga. You practice what you do at home so one day you can become David Bowie. You practice what you do at home so one day you can become Adam Lambert or Bruno Mars or whatever. But the thing that you do at home has to be interesting and wonderful to you, and you have to be disciplined enough to continue to do it, because you have to be able to understand that that thing has got to give you satisfaction right there, because you won't become Lady Gaga tomorrow. You have to put in the work. But once you do that, that ability to delay gratification and still feel good about yourself is what it's all about. I find so many people that are totally frustrated because they're not as famous as they want to be, and they're not as rich, and people don't listen to their music. And I always say to myself, when I hear people talking to me like that, I think of what my teacher told me. He says, well, you know what? Just be better.
Yeah.
If people aren't hearing you, be better. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean be a better musician. Maybe it means being better at marketing. Maybe it means being better at conveying your story. Maybe you need to understand the DHM of your music, so you don't expect people to just know exactly who you are. Be better. You have to learn your art, and you have to, if you can't sell your art, you better have somebody else who's better. But you know, people, they watch television and they see The Voice and American Idol and stuff like that, and they think that that's the only path to stardom. And the other problem to me is that people want to be stars instead of being musicians or performers. A lot of people. The goals change a little bit. Yeah, it's weird. And I always say, well, you know, that musicians throughout history have always been poor. I said, why do you think, you know, Handel and those people wrote, you know, religious music? Because that was the job. They got hired by the Pope, or they got hired by the king or something, and now you got a job, and the king says, well, we'd like to have a song for my sister's anniversary, and write this thing, and you have to write. You know, and that's what they do. And it's not like they were sitting at home going, I think I'd like to write a song about the king's coronation.
I'll tickle my fancy today.
Yeah, like no. It's like that was the job. So you do your job. You gotta face your fear. I did it. I was the most introverted musician in the world. Oh my God. I have a memoir that I just put out, and I tell the story, and I'm completely honest about it. I was terrified, and I used to play with my back to the audience. And I was, you know, thank God we had Chic, and we had these two beautiful girls up front, and we could sort of be in the background doing our thing. And then once I realized that now people were reading the albums, and they knew that I was Chic, me and my partner, we were Chic, and everybody else sort of worked for us. I had to represent my music. And
I'm proud.
One day I took a drink of beer, but I drank the whole thing down, and this warm glow came over me, and I was terrified. Literally, I was shaking. I was backstage. And then my roadie gave me the beer. I just guzzled it down, and I turned around and went, Oakland! And the crowd went, Chic! I went, Oakland! They went, Chic! I went, Oakland! Chic! And it was like,
and then you just had it from that point.
I was done. I was like, okay, make sure you have another one of those beers on the stage.
Did you have a beer every time then, or were you?
Oh, by the end of that tour, the entire drum riser was encased, encircled in beers, because now I realize that, you know, I dehydrate, and that effect would be gone. Like, give me another one. Oakland, give me another one. San Francisco, give me another one. LA.
Oh, brilliant. Oh, thank you so much. It's been brilliant chatting to you. Thank you.
Thank you very much.